Hello, everybody, and welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
This is the comic book review show where we take books from this past week, talk about them, review them, and then tell you what we thought about them, and then, of course, jump into recommendations for books that are coming out next week. We've got a number of things to talk about, but more importantly, San Diego Comic-Con is wrapping up right now. It is actually in the early morning for them, or early morning for me.
What?
The morning
it's
for
like
them right now.
11:30.
Yeah.
It's like almost the afternoon.
That's right. It's
like,
early morning
it's
for
like
me.
almost lunchtime.
Yeah. So I'm sure there's probably going to be one or two more like big announcements from San Diego, but for the moment, the things to talk about are the two big movie trailers that were released.
Two?
Well, there were a number of them, but the comic book ones specifically.
I'm just saying, there was another one that was like the thing I was literally the most excited about.
I guess we could talk about that.
No, we'll talk about the other two first, and then yeah.
Fair enough. So they released two trailers for two highly anticipated movies, or at least two highly talked about movies, and a lot of people were wondering, like, what's going to be the deal with these movies? So here we go. The first one was Aquaman. I mean, the first one was Shazam, but we're going to talk about Aquaman first.
Okay.
Because Aquaman came out, and people have been wondering, my man, oorah, and all sorts of other manly exclamations. But yeah, so Aquaman came out, and it looks good. It looks like a fun...
here's what's funny about Aquaman. I'm sure a lot of you saw that poster that came out before the other poster came out of Aquaman that was like the worst Photoshop job I've seen in a long time come out of like an actual studio. Where it's just like, it's not just lazy, it's just like, what?
It's just not
where,
good.
Like, he's crouched down and he's underwater, and like this part of his hair is like here. Right,
from a wind machine.
And he has like and he's got like this weird lighting on him where it's just like, Is there some sort of other sun under the water?
Oh yeah, that's right. It's weirdly lit.
It's bizarre. And like I saw that, I was like, what?
Yeah.
And that was right before the trailer came out, so I was just like, well,
this doesn't bode well.
I was really hoping they weren't going to screw this up and it's going to be fun. And then the trailer comes out and I'm like, oh, and it is.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
Cool.
And it looks fun.
Okay, cool.
What's hilarious is the best parts of the trailer are the supplemental characters. Like, Mera looks cool. Black Manta looks cool.
That's my phone. Yeah,
you know,
those two are like out of the comic books.
Right, straight up.
It's just amazing because Aquaman himself looks like
he did for the last three movies.
It's like, yeah, it's just bro Aquaman.
Yeah.
Aqua bro. And
which if you want that, and I do, like I prefer that one honestly at this point. Like I like the characterization of him in Justice League and in BVS, or not BVS, he wasn't really in that, but like I liked him in Justice League, and I'm looking forward to seeing like him go from there.
Yeah.
It looks fun.
Yeah, and it's like Aquaman looks a little like it's a little like
it looks a little much. It looks like he's insisting upon himself.
It looks like a Michael Bay summer blockbuster.
Right. That's what I want.
It's fine. Like that's not a big
I don't
deal.
Yeah, I'm not looking for forgive the joke, but the depth in my Aquaman movie. Like it's just his origin is super simple. Like he's a half man, half merman, and that's it. Like and so he has to become king. Like, oh, it's Lion King.
Yeah.
I'm in. Like whatever. Just make it look really cool. And they were like, we're giving you everything you want to see. Like you want to see giant seahorses and giant sharks fight each other, I guess.
This is gonna be one of those movies that I go and I don't know because I haven't seen it, but I feel like this is gonna be one of those movies that I go and see, and like partway through it, I'm like, this is ridiculous, but I'm having the best time.
Exactly, and that's
like,
my hope.
When there's that big like war and like there's all these sea animals, and I'm
like, oh no, it's a starfish, it's gonna hit your face.
I'm just like,
okay,
yeah. Of course.
Yeah,
but you know what? Like, even watching the trailer, I was like, this is kind of dumb. But I really want to see.
That's the thing. It's like, I'm not the hugest Aquaman fan on the planet, nor am I like a purist. And that actually has helped me a lot with a number of these books and movies where I'm like, I don't really care, so I'm kind of enjoying myself.
Right.
But I'm sure someone is grinding their teeth right now.
No doubt.
But it looks cool, and there's a better, I think there's a better poster. You weren't a huge fan.
It was fine.
The Entertainment Weekly cover.
It was severely better than the first thing that came out, because the first thing that came out was just, it was too indicative of like what it felt like DC or Warner Brothers was like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever, it's a fish movie.
Right.
And it's like, come on.
No, I agree.
It looked like it was done in like 30 minutes.
Right? No, it's true. So that was cool.
Yes.
Shazam also was released. Again, there's another character, like, I don't like Shazam normally. I'm not a huge Shazam fan. I've read only a very select amount of Shazam stories, usually set against the greater DC universe, which is exactly what this movie is, by the way. It's like, it's going to be Shazam's through and through, but it's set against a DC backdrop.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, like, look, like, I get it. Like, now that they've announced, like, the whole, like, DCEU is not...
Oh, they're dropping...
DCU,
like, it's
DC,
they're trying to get in front of it. It's really cute and funny. I really like it, where they're just like... Because the DC never declared it to be called the DCEU. That was a fan-generated term. The DC Extended Universe. Extending to what? From where? Why is extended? Are movies extensions of the comics? Is that the idea? Doesn't matter what the real definition of the DCEU is. It's easy to say, but it doesn't make any sense and it sucks.
Sure.
So, like, DC's like, okay, well, so we heard that, what was it? It wasn't from Warner Brothers directly, but it was a word of mouth from the con is that they're going to call it Worlds of DC.
Right. So it's like, that's like, if that's what you're doing, fine, whatever, I get it. And it's just like, you're going to, like, you got some dark movies, you got some, like, lighter, happier, fun movies, you got, like, what Aquaman looks like, you know, like, something that is...
Like an epic war movie, but it's dealing with aqua people, so it'll be, like, kind of hilarious.
And I get it. Like, there is something a little cheesy always about the idea of the Shazam character.
Big time.
Always. You know what I mean? Like, it's...
Yeah, and if you try to avoid it, it looks like you're trying to avoid it.
Right, so I totally understand that. I feel like with this, and this is only from a trailer, so it's a cursory, like, peek in there. Like,
yeah, we've seen 2 minutes
literally
collectively
no way
of
to
this
understand how, like, where this is gonna go, but it's like, I feel like they've taken that a step too far.
You think so?
Like, a little bit for me. Like, you know, again, this is a cursory look. We don't know what the whole movie's going to look like. I am hoping there is going to be some seriousness
no
that
doubt.
Like balances out like a lot of like the like cheesy, hokey, like kid jokes.
Fun. Yeah,
like, oh, look, and it's an adult like who's pretending to be a kid. And I'm like, cool, I get it, but like he's still like, you know, like not like a necessarily an allegory for Superman, but he is like.
Yeah.
He's the magical Superman. Like, come on. I don't know.
Yeah. I thought it was super fun. I loved it. And I was like, this is exactly what I wanted of a Shazam movie. It took itself...
Yeah.
It took itself seriously, but it's like, it plays with that idea.
Right.
You know, it takes itself serious in as much as like, listen, the wizard made this magic guy show up and he looks like a ripoff of Superman.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
By the way, the costume looks awesome. Like,
it looks straight out of the comics, and that's all I can hope for. He doesn't have that awful hood that I don't care for. They lengthened the cape a little bit, which is great.
he looks phenomenal. And I just think that like whenever they cram too much of like one note jokes into a trailer, it tends to turn me off.
That's true.
And like there was a lot of like the like I got it the first time you did the joke.
Right.
And like in the film, obviously that'll be spaced out, but when it's like bam, 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 bam,
yeah, I felt like, oh, is this just a laugh riot the entire way through? Like, I don't think so.
I feel like it wasn't the greatest trailer for me. For me.
That's fair.
That's for me.
Yeah.
Like
I was like, this is exactly the kind of trailer I needed for this kind of movie. Because I was like, because like the font choice for the like Shazam release when they were like, this is Shazam.
Yeah.
I was like, this looks like a TV show. It looks like Arrow. So I was really worried about how they were going to handle it. And in fact, like if we could address the Titans trailer too.
Yeah.
Because that addresses the TV arm.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick before we talk about the thing that I loved the most.
Okay, well before we do that, hang on. So like Shazam, at the end of the day, I liked it. Yeah. We're gonna do Shazam in April on Back Issues as a kind of like hello. Yeah. You know, like let's address it. It's gonna do one of my favorite Shazam stories, and you know, out of the two. And so yeah, you can look forward to that, and I'm looking forward to this movie. I think it's working.
Awesome.
And before we do that, I want to jump into the super chats because we've been kind of neglecting it, and I want to do something new where instead of us interrupting the conversation directly to talk about the super chats, it's going to be like in between transitions. We'll address the super chats.
Sure.
So Wookie Drew says you guys rock, which of course was definitely worth taking time out to say hello to. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's very
and
nice.
the other one was Robert Hicks, who says Shazam looks sick. Funny how both Captain Marvel movies come out around the same year.
Right.
Agreed. Now, my question is, and before we leave this conversation alone, is are they going to address the Captain Marvel line or name at all? I don't think they're going to call him Shazam. I think there might be a line. I think this movie seems to be so fun that they might be like, you know, like, oh, so you're named after the thing you have to say in order to access your powers. Like that seems kind of like redundant. And he'd be like, yeah, I went for a couple other names, you know, like Superman Light or Captain, and then they're like, I don't know, don't say it.
I assume his like little foster brother would come up with the names,
right? Exactly.
Because he's like into superheroes,
exactly, and he seems to like collect things from superhero fights, which also cements it directly into this DC universe.
By the way, there was literally a moment when we were watching that trailer, like, and like I don't know why my brain took me on this tangent where it's just like I'm like, oh man, they're gonna do something different with Shazam. Like the Foster family was like Mary Marvel and Shazam, and I was like, because like they're really nice and they seem like this perfect little like unit, and I was like, oh, and he's gonna be like a different incarnation of Shazam, and I was like, all right, Tiffany, they showed you the family for like 5 seconds. Why would you go down that path?
Right.
Like, there was literally no reason for me to think that. I was just like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense.
They can still do that.
No.
Also, Artie Pavlov saying, not reading Runaways and X-Men Red? Me likey.
I heard Runaways is phenomenal.
It is. I've heard...
I read the first issue, and it wasn't like it turned me off. I just was like...
It didn't hook you.
It didn't end up in my pull list.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know.
Right. So, yeah. But anyway, so the other trailer, the second to last trailer we're going to talk about...
I thought we were going to talk about the
Titans trailer?
Yeah.
All right, fine.
I think we should talk about it.
It looks horrible.
Yeah. Like,
it looks really bad. And part of it, I think, is because of the sound is terrible.
I think so too. I think, okay, and like I've been saying this a lot lately, I realize, but like it's overdeveloped.
Yep.
Like,
yeah.
It was like too many people got into a room and tried to do everything all at once with these characters.
Right. It's also funny because it looks like they were trying to follow, again, like another like Marvel formula. I don't think they are, not accusing them of that, but they're like, okay, so like the movies are fun.
Yeah.
So that means we can go a little darker and a little more gritty with the shows.
Yeah.
And the guys who are running the DC shows are like, right, so we got to follow that formula. So the movies, which were already dark as hell, we got to go darker with them. And the only way you can get darker with them is to become edgelords and have Robin like crack not necks. Apparently he didn't kill that guy. He broke his jaw. There's somebody who's like pointing out every single thing where they're like, he didn't shoot those guys lethally. He didn't break that guy's neck. It was actually his jaw. And he did say F Batman, but like, that's pretty awesome though. It's like, is it though? It looks like he's more insisting upon himself. Look, I'm a badass.
Here's the thing. Okay, so when you have a trailer like this that's so out of left field for what most people think they should get, you're always going to end up having a couple of camps being like this isn't what we asked for,
right.
And the like, I don't care, I just want it so badly, I'm going to make it good. Mm-hmm. Like, and like, that's fine. Like, if you're into it, you're into it. That's totally it. But like, this is not what I was expecting at all.
No.
Like, and like, I mean, just literally on the surface of tone.
Right.
Like, the tone of this, I was like...
It's like, Titans. Like, what? That's not... What's amazing is, I think episode 8, or very, like, before we get to 10, the Doom Patrol will be introduced in the show.
Right.
And it was so well received internally that they spun it out into its own Doom Patrol show.
Right.
Can you imagine what Doom Patrol must be like? I feel like it'll be the fun one.
I hope so.
I think Doom Patrol is going to be the one that should have been the Titans
I literally hope that what happens is basically it's just like the Doom Patrol's like,
whoa,
we're leaving. Beast Boy, later.
Yeah, you look lame.
You could just stay here. And, like, here's the thing. We've seen, like, this, like, I'm not even going to call it, like, an Archie style thing where it's just, like, but it kind of feels like
Riverdale,
like
not the show.
No, but like, the idea of it putting them all together again in this show. We've seen that. Like, there's an artist, I never remember the guy's real name, but, like, he goes by Piccolo on, like, Instagram, and, like, he does these phenomenal versions of the Teen Titans.
Yes.
And, like, the, like, just a modernized version of them, or, like, an everyday life kind of thing. And, like, it's really cool, and it's just, like, there's your source book.
Yeah. Yeah, to make to integrate the Titans into like the real world while also like embracing what makes them like fun. Like a green changeling or an orange alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It literally is just, it's overdeveloped and it's trying. There's nothing wrong with like trying new things, but like when you're trying all the new things
at once in one property, that it's going to be hard to extricate the cultural consciousness's understanding of because they're all thinking of the Titans cartoon show that has a movie that's literally coming out now.
Yeah, you're either thinking of that show or you're thinking of the old show, which is just the new show.
Just the new show, but dumb. It's frustrating, but again, like as not the biggest like Titans fan, like I dig the Titans, but I'm not like a die in the wool kind of like, let's do this.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, okay, like it's more of an amusing car wreck to me than it is like an affront on the thing that I love the most.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I can also be like the sounds for me were the most egregious. Things that were like clearly YouTube Creator Studio sound effects that they just pulled, or sound effects that are just like Google the sound of a neck cracking, and it's like you could have just grabbed a stick of celery and just turned it into the microphone, and that would have done better.
Right.
But no, it was just weak, and it was weird because like they've had a lot of time to work on it, and then when you watch it like multiple times, you start to like look at the shots, and you're like, oh, like they're putting all their stuff over here, but there's nothing around them. So it's like, oh, now you can see the budget. It's weak. It's a little weak. And maybe it's just the worst foot forward in like the new show, and like the whole show will be amazing.
Yeah.
Because I know the people who are running it, and I like them and I trust them. but also like they have, they probably have a very limited budget, and who knows? Like, and I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt.
I don't know.
I think it's supposed to be like hilariously gritty in the beginning. Like the pilot's supposed to be dumb.
It's so funny too because it's just like you just put Cyborg in the Justice League.
Yeah.
So now he can't.
Right. So now he can't be a Titan.
He can't be part of it. And I'm just like, I don't
Oops.
know. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, so is it part of the same universe or not? I doubt it.
And if it's not, then where is he? Other than he's really expensive and hard to.
He's just too expensive. Even though he doesn't look expensive at all in those Justice League movies. By the way, before we move on, Kevin Kruger helping us out in the super chat. Thank you very much, Kevin. So yeah, and then finally the main event trailer, which was for Tiffany.
For me, I was just like, look, yeah, Aquaman was fun. Shazam, yeah, neat, whatever.
Yeah.
Titans, oh. And then I was like, Godzilla.
King of
Monsters. We were watching that trailer, and like I think I just like got more excited with each new shot.
Yep.
Are you kidding me? This has nothing to do with comics, except Godzilla does have a comic. But like, guys, I just love like kaiju movies, and I loved that Godzilla movie that just came out.
Yeah.
Not just. That was so
it's
much
like
fun.
10 years ago.
And all I wanted was instead of the Muto for there to be other monsters, and now they're like. And here they are.
Yes.
I was like, we're watching it, and like you're getting like the glimpses, and I'm like, Ghidorah?
Yeah.
And then it's like Ghidorah, Rodan, and Mothra.
And Mothra.
And like it's clearly like gonna be little caterpillar Mothra, and it's gonna grow up.
I mean, little being the size of like a Mack truck,
it's
but
still little comparatively, and I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. I hope Mothra and Godzilla team up.
Yeah.
I hope they team up.
Oh, I think there's no way that they won't.
All right.
Yeah, it looks cool. They also addressed a couple of my complaints with the first movie. Like they got rid of the guy who plays Kick-Ass, who's terrible. We don't have any weird bait and switches. Like, hey, so here's this big actor that people want to see, and then like they're only in it for 5 minutes.
Right. But like Ken Watanabe's still there,
and what's it called? They added the dude from Super 8, and they also got 11.
I'm just so excited. I hope that movie's good. I'm so excited for that movie.
It looks fun. I'm excited.
I can't.
Not as excited as I am for other movies.
I'm so excited.
But Godzilla, man. There you have it.
And then he lights up. He doesn't do the scream.
Nobody's like,
and then just
yeah, he doesn't do the hilariously adorable scream.
I love his scream. I love the whole thing. I like doing this just opens up the whole like mythos.
Oh yeah. Well, and they're building towards the big the big fight. The big Kong
I'm less
versus
excited
Godzilla.
about that. I like him in the just the straight up kaiju universe. Like just bring in
Kong's in that universe too.
Just bring in Gamera instead.
He's smaller, but yeah.
I don't care.
All
right, let's go on.
All right.
I'm just super excited.
No, I know.
Stupid excited.
It's cool.
This.
No, I like no doubt. I want to see Godzilla be cool.
Stupid excited. All right.
Ugo Easy saying, will it serve DC to take their property to CW for their streaming service as Disney Marvel's going to do with Netflix?
Only in I think whatchamacallit? The cartoon.
Young Justice?
Young Justice.
Well, because they're like, would it make sense for them to take like Arrow and Supergirl and stuff and bring it over to the other thing?
I think once they build their fan base, they'll feel like it will. And I think Young Justice is going to be the thing that most people are going to purchase their streaming service for. And once they do that, I think they'll be like, but you already have a subscription and you totally forgot to cancel it. So we'll get you put stuff here instead.
Literally after having seen the only trailer for one of the only trailers for their only properties, like Titans. Saw the Titans trailer for the live action stuff. Doesn't make me excited for Swamp Thing or Doom Patrol or any of the other plans they have for live action. Which means that like the only reason to get this system is for Young Justice season 3. Yeah. Which looks great.
Which it does. And that's probably the smartest thing they've done with the streaming service.
Yeah.
Like that's
and it's like a no-brainer because they could have just put it on Netflix and like everybody would have watched it, but now it's like, well, am I going to spend $10 a month to watch it? I guess I probably will because otherwise I'm going to have to like pirate it.
Yeah.
And I'm not a dick, right? I'm not going to do that, am I? Artie Pavlov saying, sending you an Avengers Transformers crossover in the next comics package. It's horrific. You'll love it. Thank you so much. I've been looking for new Avengers versus Transformers forever. I will do it. It'll happen on back issues.
He's excited.
And Luis Lopez saying, it's Mothra!
Mothra! I wonder if the little girls will be there.
I think 11 is the little girls.
Mothra.
I think
they gotta sing the Mothra song.
I think she'll hum it probably.
Yeah.
But
right,
so anyway, those are the trailers that came out of San Diego. Let's talk about some comics, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's actually do that.
So before we jump into the comics, Jam Call X, most don't know that Dick had a brutal and angry streak for a bit after his fallout with Bruce. Even when he first became Nightwing, he chilled out, of course. Yeah, that's true. I mean, listen, nobody's saying that he didn't probably say F Batman under his breath or to his nearest and dearest, but it's a little edgelord. Anyway, so let's jump into the books that are coming there that we think.
What do you want to start with?
Let me talk about Iron Man really quick.
Go for it.
Tony Stark Iron Man #2 from Dan Slott and Valerio Schiti or whatever. It's hilarious to say every time because it sounds like I'm just trying to be really proper with my saying he's shitty. Yeah. And Valerio Schiti. But no, it's true. His name is spelled like that.
It's fair.
But yeah, so Tony Stark Iron Man #2 picks up where the last one left off. It's almost like you forgot the last one came out because it's so who cares?
Right.
But the story continues, and it basically deals with Rhodey having a little bit of PTSD from his experience dying in the War Machine suit.
That'll do it.
And referring to all the other times that he's almost died or nearly died in the War Machine suit. And so naturally, Iron Man needs to go and fight a giant robot that is based off of some tech that was stolen from him. It's a hodgepodge of evil other corporation tech and his own tech to make a big mech suit kind of thing. So naturally, he calls in War Machine, and he's like, I really don't want to put that on. But he does anyway, and then he bails. And Tony's like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have forced you to do that. And then basically, War Machine co-opts the big cool mech that they're going to fight. And then the two of them save the day, and then Stark buys the mech for Rhodey, and he's like, "You're not War Machine anymore. No more War Machine. You can do whatever you You're Jim Rhodes in a cool battle tank."
Okay.
And I was thinking about this recently because I was talking to creator of War Machine James Rhodes. He wants me to specifically say James Rhodes. David Michelinie, who created Jim Rhodes in the first place. When he created him, he was like, I don't want to make a superhero. He liked the idea that James Rhodes was just a regular guy. He was Tony Stark's non-superhero friend who had his own powers in as much as he was useful and cool.
Right.
But didn't have to be Black Iron Man.
Okay.
So naturally they made him into Black Iron Man. And he was like, I don't understand why they do that. Why can't they just leave well enough alone? It's because now I can have a cool other version of the thing I think is cool.
Right.
But I liked this kind of almost compromise. And I should actually reach out to him and be like, hey, look what they did with War Machine.
Yeah.
Because now anyone else can be War Machine and that's fine. Or Punisher can keep the armor. I know that he's not going to.
Yeah.
But it's cool. And I really like how how Dan Slott's playing with that idea.
Right.
Of maybe what's his name? Jim Rhodes wanted to do, or what Michelinie wanted to do with Jim Rhodes in the first place. But more importantly, making Jim Rhodes a character and not being annoying or not being overused or underutilized because he's just another Iron Man. Making him his own character and exploring that depth.
Right.
So it's a cool story, kind of. It's fun. It plays with the idea. It has a big dun 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 last page reveal, which is who gives a shit.
Right.
If you don't like Dan Slott, you're not gonna like this book.
Okay.
But if you don't care about Iron Man, if you're kind of a casual Iron Man fan like myself, where you're I've read Iron Man stories, but I'm not oh, they're ruining Iron Man. This is a fun story. I'm actually this is a great book for people who either don't care about Iron Man or don't know much about Iron Man.
Right. Okay.
So I recommend it in as much as you should probably check it out because it's the new status quo for Iron Man, and it doesn't seem like they're really screwing it up.
Okay.
Which I really like.
That's great.
Before we jump into the next book that I want you to cover,
sure.
Let's talk about the super chat. Martin Archuleta saying, thanks so much for being awesome. Thank you very much for being awesome yourself, man. Not
you.
TV topic. Did you see War Machine's new Manticore suit tank thing in Iron Man #2? I dig that. That's all. Yes, I did. In fact, we just talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me, by the way. It's called the Manticore.
Does it look anything like a manticore?
No. I mean, I guess.
Is it Manta and then core is C.O.
No. But there's another thing like that.
Okay.
But yes, they did that. Mr. Roboto, hello. Is the truth that we are all the Watcher? I don't know what you're talking about. So, let's move on.
I'm going to say yes.
I mean, if you're watching, then you are the Watcher. And Martin Archuleta, and you brought it up the second I said that. And Kevin Kruger, will you do the Max for back issues because Batman versus the Max? Yes. Yeah, we'll do Max.
I knew that.
So that'll happen.
I already knew that.
Yeah, we will be doing the Max. And specifically because of Max versus
there you go.
Batman.
I actually have 2 books this week that I read that I know you didn't read.
Okay.
One of them I don't even know that you know that I read.
I'm sure.
But I'm gonna stay in the Marvel area right now, arena. Right. Guys, it's been told to me that I should read this book. I picked up issue 3 this week and I read it. And I feel like this probably wasn't the issue to jump in on. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's Immortal Hulk, number 3, written by Al Ewing with a whole lot of artists.
No.
John Bennett, Leonardo Romero, Paul Hornschiemer, Marguerite Sauvage. Yeah, this was clearly not the place for me to jump into this. I did glance at issue 2. I haven't had a chance to go back and read the others. I get what you guys are talking about just by my cursory glance at the other issues.
Yeah.
This was not the one to start with, because this is just I'm sure this has something to do with the story that's ongoing, but it's literally almost just like a breather from 2 issues.
From the last 2 issues, that's it?
And it's a series of like vignettes that a reporter is investigating, essentially like a sighting of Hulk, and so like they're drawn by different individuals, and it's all the same story. And it's like, I get it.
Sounds like the previous artist needs friggin' time.
I'm sure, and like that's interesting on its own, but like the change of art was so all over the place. It's supposed to like reflect each of the individual like person who's like
their vantage point. Yeah.
But like everyone's talking about this horror element, which is just not non-existent in this issue, and I feel like it wasn't a fair sampling for me. I will give it another shot, guys. I'm gonna give it definitely another shot.
We'll read the first 2 issues
because it's just so funny because I was just like, all right, I'll try 3.
Yeah,
because I'm safe there.
Why
right?
not? Yeah, no, you're not. We're doing an anthology book.
It wasn't. It was well written though. Al Ewing seems to be doing a nice job.
Al Ewing rocks.
He did a really good job, I think, of like telling the story, the perspective of like. Essentially, it's just like this reporter's chasing down Hulk, and like Hulk intervenes in Hot Shot. I think that's his name. You can let me know if I'm incorrect about his name.
What'd you say?
I said Hot Shot.
Some dread for you.
But Hot Shot shows up because like his girlfriend or whatever he thinks is like possessed by something, and he's like trying to get a priest or like someone to help him. And at the end of the day, like that is, I guess, the horror element there, but it really isn't explored quite so much. Because like inevitably the girlfriend is dead in the motel where he said he left her, and he left her like strapped to a chair. But like when they get there, like her neck's broken, like her head's it's like really messed up.
Okay.
But he's like, I didn't leave her dead.
Right. So someone must have gone in and killed
inevitably,
her.
Look, the Hulk defeats him, and like it's told from all these different perspectives, and the cops are like really into it. Like he's like, the cops like, yeah, because Hulk smashed and all that stuff, and that's awesome. And like this bartender like had a run in with Bruce Banner and was just like, he was kind of a dick, and I realized who he was now. And like this old lady's just like, and like Hotshot looked like James Dean, and wasn't that lovely? And I feel so bad for this poor little man.
Okay.
And like the priest is just like, I think the Hulk was the devil or whatever. I don't know.
Right, of course, yeah.
But like at the end of the day, Hotshot goes to jail, and then he like hangs himself in his own cell.
Aww.
And it's like,
did he kill her?
I don't think so. But like,
well,
so like that's kind of interesting, but like that was not what I was anticipating from this book. So I was like, oh, what?
Yeah, no.
So like I said,
where's the horror?
But like I said, like Al Ewing did a really good job of like creating these different voices, and like the art switch is so like all over the place. I'm like, ooh, okay. But again, I'll give the first 2 issues a shot.
Fair enough.
And try to go on from there. Right. We'll see how it goes.
Mr. Roboto saying DC Comics Tom Strong, will you review it? Probably not. And Scoregasms, hey Scoregasms, yay or meh on the final Clone Wars season. Also, any particular reason ComicPOP Gang doesn't do trailer reaction videos or reviews? I'd enjoy that content, smiley face. Good question. I saw the trailer for the Clone Wars. I didn't watch Clone Wars. I don't care about it, like, at all. I don't like the prequels. I've made no, like, compulsions about that. Like, the thing about it is, the prequels are not a universe I like. I don't care for it. I don't like that universe. So, like, even in the best case scenarios, like the Clone Wars cartoon show is, because I've seen a number of episodes, and they're all really, really good. Mm-hmm. That being said, I don't want to see that universe. Like, I don't care about those clones. Right. I hate they all sound like Tamura Morrison. I hate that there are droidicas and Gungans and viceroys and Newt Gunrays. Like, I don't want any of that crap. I don't want to hear General Grievous's dumb voice anymore. Like, there's so much about that, and why I was like, when they canceled Clone Wars and they made Rebels, I'm like, right on, my world. You're probably going to reference a lot of the friggin' prequel stuff, but at least it'll be in an era that I like. And it didn't really do too much with the Clone Wars, but when it did, it was really cool. And I'm like, oh, like, you're really paying a love letter to this previous show that people really enjoy.
Yeah.
That being said, am I excited? Not really, but I wasn't really excited for the previous series. Also, it looks like a little cheaper than the last season.
It did a little bit. I think, like, for those who really dug it, I think that's awesome that you're getting a shot to have this.
Yeah, I'm really glad you got your show.
Because, like, I think we've all been there with shows that we really enjoy where it's just like, cool, and then it's canceled and you never get any closure. Even if you could kind of guess where it was going, you still kind of want it. So I think that that's really awesome that potentially they listen to the fans.
Right. Or at the very least, they were like, there's some budget for that.
Yeah.
I'm never going to get an Exo Squad season. But you might get your Clone Wars closure. Right. So, the fact is, Rebels could have just done 3 episodes within the Rebels show to be closure for the Clone Wars. That would have been
kind of insulting.
Big time.
Fans.
Yeah,
so, like,
you mean like if you were doing a Justice League cartoon and then you ended the series, or you thought you were ending the series by making it a wrap-up for Batman Beyond?
Yeah.
Because that's what they did.
Yeah.
And then they got another season, like, oh, okay, cool. Well, never mind.
There you go. And as for about doing trailer reactions and reviews, it's funny, you might not have been here. We actually
just did one.
We just did it at the beginning of this episode.
We tried it actually about a year or so ago. We were like, oh, let's do those because people really asked for them.
Yeah.
I don't like to do them. I don't think that they like reflect what we do here on this channel. I don't think people want to really see that, but I understand that there is an audience for that. Mm-hmm. And there's some things like I know that when they released the Infinity War trailer, you filmed me doing a trailer reaction on our Instagram.
Yes.
Instagram.com/ComicPOP official, by the way. All the links to the description box down below.
There it
so,
is.
yeah, but I relegated it to that because I figured, like, by and large, you guys are here for, like, discussion format, not necessarily, like, trailer reaction. We did a trailer reaction of Justice League. Uh-huh. Justice League was this small. We were the focal point. It was flipped, and you couldn't hear the audio, and Warner Brothers still flagged it. And I went, we're never going to do another trailer reaction again.
But we could still possibly do reviews. Maybe we'll move those, because the Instagram's got that new Instagram TV thing.
Yeah, I have a show idea over there, like, that I plan on doing, but if you'd like to see more, like Tiffany said... You know,
but if nothing else, we did talk about some stuff that came out of San Diego.
We did review them.
So,
but yeah, it's harder to sync up the video with us because usually... If you don't have like 1.7 million subscribers, like people freak out at you, or at the very least, like they'll strike you, and that's the last thing we need.
We don't need that.
We're doing pretty good here. So, but also Kevin Kruger saying, "I sent some themed packages for you. Tiffany will like the first one."
Ooh, I'm excited.
Yeah, thank you very much for the tease, Kevin. So that's in Immortal Hulk #3.
Yeah.
What else you got? Or was that it?
I have another one.
You have another one, right? That I didn't know you read.
Oh wait, I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, we'll do one that we could both talk about. I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
What else did you read?
I read Justice League.
Okay, Justice League. We'll talk about Justice League.
Yeah, let's talk about Justice League. I also read, because we both read The Life of Captain Marvel, I think,
we
as
did.
well. So what do you want to do first?
Let's do Justice League.
Okay, so I was going to say, we could say Marvel, or we could go...
Yeah, we'll break it. We haven't done any DC.
Okay.
Yeah, Justice League #4.
Yeah.
So it's more the same.
I like this issue a lot.
I liked it too, but not much happened.
I think quite a bit happened. We get, because like we've been getting like the backstory of like each of the villains and what they're up to, and we get Gorilla Grodd, and we get a little bit of like his like where Grodd grew up, and it's like this sad little story about like a crazy gorilla.
Now here's a question, as a quick tangent about that.
Yeah.
Because every member of the Legion of Doom is going to get a little flashback to them when they were kids. Joker's getting one next issue. What do you think of that?
Well, I guess we're gonna find out.
I think don't touch it, but. I also think now that there's 3 of them, I guess it doesn't matter.
It'd be interesting if we didn't actually see him, if it was just from his perspective.
Right.
Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
Yeah.
Like, you don't see him ever. It's just the world around him.
That's true.
Or, like, his take on the world
There's
around
absolutely
him.
no way that anything written by Snyder will not have at least 9 text boxes.
Right, and it could be a flashback to not when he was a kid, because, like...
That's true.
Like,
I think I
Sinestro's
heard that
I
think it's about him being a kid, though.
Oh, so I was going to say, like, Sinestro's was just him being an
being a
archaeologist and an adventurer.
Yeah. That's true.
So I don't know. So Gorilla Grodd, like, I liked that because it was just like...
It was very weird and cool.
Well, because he was like, I was the runt, and like my dad tried to like toughen me up and blah, 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 blah.
So I took it out on this regular guy.
And I turned it like psychic powers and like...
Right, so screw all of them.
Right? And so like... so basically he's trying to find like... He's on his own little adventure to find something, which really doesn't seem to have anything to do with him as a kid.
No.
They're just showing you that.
Yep.
And we get to see Superman and Martian Manhunter in the totality, fighting along, and like Martian Manhunter's like, it has to be a lie what they told me, it can't be real. And like Superman's like, dude!
John, you gotta give me all the information, which is funny because it kind of parallels, incidentally, the Bendis Superman book where Jean and Superman are coming at odds with each other a little bit.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, I just saw
But
this.
like he's not just at odds, like he's more or less like, Jean's just so in
wrapped
his own...
up.
Yeah, like he's just like, oh my gosh, and Superman's like, we have to get out of here.
Right.
And you have to tell me what's happening.
I need Week to fire Superman to start doing some Superman stuff,
yeah.
John.
Right? And and basically, of course, within Martian Manhunter is Hawkgirl, and behind Hawkgirl is Joker.
With a chainsaw!
Yeah, who's revealed, and she's like, my wings are nth metal. And like, then she realizes that he's there.
Not gonna cut her wings off.
No, he's gonna cut her head off.
Oh ho ho!
So he knocks her out and takes control of her ship. Batman, like, just starts piecing things together. Because he hears the laugh. He's just like, only 2 people could have really done that.
That's also funny that Batman also, like, we watch him actually doing his detective process where, like, everything's falling into place, which is rare.
Yes.
Usually he's already done it.
Yes, he's like, okay, heard the laugh. It could only be, like, Brainiac or Lex Luthor, and Brainiac's dead and Lex Luthor's a good guy. And then he hears the bullets, and he's just like,
or he's not.
Right? You know. And, like, this is where, like, it's almost like Snyder was like, okay, you think that I always have my Batman prepared?
Right, mine...
He literally makes note that he's like, I prepared for a lot of things, but not this.
But not this. Yep.
I'm like,
oh, well, touche.
Snyder's following the social medias. So, Batman is like in Superman's neural canals, and he gets eaten by some sort of thing, and we don't know what happens to him.
Well, his ship gets destroyed. He like bails.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's floating like
right,
literally
he's just floating
in
his brain
he gets
fluid.
eaten by some part of Superman's like defensive system, or one of the things. I'm not really.
I think it's one of the things.
And Lex is now in control of everything. He ends up taking control of Superman and like almost and like morphing Superman's
to
like
look like him.
Not like that, but like to make facial like
like he reflects his own.
Yeah, and it's like crazy. And he starts talking to Jean about how like Jean's gonna be the end of them all, and like that's totally cool and stuff like that. And like meanwhile, Cyborg and Jon Stewart are taking on Sinestro, who has the ultraviolet core, and like he's just like Sinestro's like, John, your ring is not going to do anything here. Like, you are so, like, upset and down on yourself, and, like, it's within you that, like, the ultraviolet spectrum is just you're going to be part of it.
It's going to eat you alive.
And it's going to be awesome. Like, you're going to be great.
Yeah.
And it's going to be great.
And there's this big moment where Jean, like, conjures his energy and his willpower to defeat the ultraviolet.
Well, yeah, and, like, it's really funny, too, because before that, Cyborg and John are going to, like, fire on him, and like Cyborg's like, no person can take the blast of both of us.
Right.
Like, we're gonna kill him.
We're gonna beat
and like
him.
John's like, we're
That's
at
fine.
war.
Yeah, John's like, yeah, no, I'm totally willing to do that.
Yeah, and it doesn't do anything. Like,
and then it doesn't work anyway. And you're like, ooh.
Yeah, and so then John's like, as long as I have my ring, like, I will not stop fighting. And then Sinestro just, like, conjures the ultraviolet spectrum and, like, busts the ring open.
Yeah, the ring explodes.
And it literally he's got, like, the tattoo of the ultraviolet spectrum on his arm. And it's, like, taking him over. And he's just like, what did you do to me? And he's just like, I filled your cells, like, the last bit of cells with ultraviolet energy. And now you're ours.
Yeah, and you will never become a Green Lantern again.
It's over. Sorry.
It's over forever.
Sorry.
And you're like, oh, but you just brought him to the team.
Yeah.
What?
But, so Cyborg gets John out of there, they leave, and, like, he's pretty upset about everything, like, needless to say, because, like, they can feel, like, he knows that, like, this barrier is, like, fading, essentially.
Yes.
And that's all having to do with the Still Force.
Right, from Turtle.
Do you remember the baby that you said was the turtle?
It's the turtle!
Turtle! And, like, Gorilla Grodd has this little...
Like, hilarious baby carrying thing. It's pretty safe.
I guess he's safe. He's like right out front.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
But he can cover him with his big gorilla
It's
arms.
like Coco and a kitten.
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P. Coco. Like Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Flash are dealing with him. Flash still is having an issue with his powers, of course.
Flash is the dope of this episode.
Well, he just doesn't get it.
Right.
And, like, so, like, we need him to, like, not get it so that he can inevitably do get it.
Maybe.
And so with Grodd and Baby Turtle is Cheetah and Black Manta. And inevitably, like, the Still Force is activated by the baby. And, like, they're all, like, kind of frozen except for the Flash, who just keeps pushing and using the Speed Force, which, as it turns out, is what is going to break it and fully fuel the Still Force. Which will bring Umbrax and, like, reveal, like, pull away the cloak.
Yes.
Essentially. And be like, ta-da, we're screwed.
Exactly.
And that's what happens. Like, Flash totally screws it up.
Yeah.
And,
there's also some, like, mind whammy stuff where Aquaman and Wonder Woman think each other is Cheetah and Black Manta.
Because Grodd's doing that.
Yeah, so they're fighting each other.
And, meanwhile, like, Cheetah and Black Manta go off to find something that they're like, oh, well.
Yeah, well, I guess you really didn't need me here for this.
So, no, they were there to do that. And, like, they were like,
them.
the whole point is that Lex was right.
Yes.
Like, each of them has this moment where it's like, Lex was right.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, Lex called it.
Yeah. So, like... So now Superman and Martian Manhunter, under the influence of Joker and Lex Luthor, are going to the totality to claim it, basically. And we're going to see what happens. Also, we get, like, this, like, interesting thing where, like, Martian Manhunter, when he was, like, gone, went to go find, like, this one Martian who was like the holder of all the knowledge that they kept off planet, and like when he gets there, like he gets like this broken, like faceted peek into like his history kind of thing.
But he also, like, now that he's experienced this whole thing, like, he wonders if he was being lied to.
Yeah, by her. And like, by the way, her design's awesome. Jimenez is like,
I'm just gonna draw cool stuff.
I swear, like, each book just keeps getting better for me.
Yep.
Like, the more comfortable
he gets, and the more neat, outlandish stuff he's allowed to give you.
It's such a treat to look at.
Totally.
Such a treat. Really enjoyed this.
Yep.
And like, I really like this issue. Like, I know you really liked the last issue, and I was like,
I like this one too.
I was kind of like, meh. Like, I wasn't like lukewarm or upset about it, but I wasn't like, I just had so much fun with this issue.
series is selling everybody one issue at a time.
Yeah, and I feel like this issue was really well paced.
Yeah.
Like, exposition and action, I thought it did a really good job.
I agree. Yeah. No, and I think that is at least 60% thanks to Jorge Jimenez drawing.
I agree. Just gotta stick this landing.
But, yeah. Oh, no.
Just gotta stick this landing.
Good luck, Scott.
Come on.
But it's really cool. I dig the hell out of it, so check that out.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
We got the life of...
Oh, yeah. No, wait, hang on.
Before
Before we jump into the other one, because I have a book you didn't read. Mr. B.M. Gray saying, I wanted to give you some money, so here, frowny face.
Oh!
Thanks, B.M. Gray.
I don't know if that's a frowny face. I like that face.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
B.M.
That's so kind of you.
And Mr. Roboto, why do you suppose Marvel has not done a teen team like DC? Because then they'd have to acknowledge that their characters are not all like 20-something hip bachelors.
Yeah, and
they do it, and then they ignore them and throw them away.
And I think they probably feel like most of their cool teen characters are part of the X-Men universe.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, they did Young Avengers, which is great.
Yeah.
They did Runaways, which is great.
Yeah, and they are technically doing that, but it's not quite the same level.
Runaways is not the same thing.
No, it's not at all, and I see what you're talking about, where it's just like, no, a team that doesn't have to worry about being
like saving the universe,
or not just saving the universe, but I mean, like, you know, the Runaways have to do things like Cloak and Dagger, and like not the characters,
not
Cloak
the
and
Cloak and Dagger, although they
like,
are also Runaways,
hiding, and like the X-Men have to deal with whatever like issues,
internal problem they're dealing with.
The X-Men have to do. So I do see what you're talking about, and I think it's just they don't know how to make it work.
No, it's true, and Marvel just has zero faith in the Young Avengers. The champions are determined entirely by the people who are writing them. The New Warriors are a toxic brand. So, you know, it's hard. And by the way, they're all like any of these brands are toxic because of the lack of faith that was put into them by their owners.
Oh, I thought you were saying toxic because I was just like, man, you blow up one town. That
you kill one school. It's true. I mean, like, no, but then,
and all of a sudden you can't be a team anymore. No, it's fair.
Then a celebrated author took over the New Warriors and wanted to do something like kind of fun with them.
Yeah.
And like it was so continuity heavy, it was just woof.
Right.
So no.
I saw Power Pack mentioned.
Power Pack is not a team. That's two kids or three kids.
It could be more. You could have a pack of more than two.
Yeah. It was not great. And Artie Pavlov, 2010's X-Men New Mutants, and following new X-Men books were so good, could make such a great TV show too. I agree.
Yeah.
X-Men lends themselves to TV because
it really
it's episodic.
Does. It's episodic and it's drama.
Yeah.
You don't have to even worry about writing it. It's already there.
Yeah. I said that I would give Avengers #5 from Jason Aaron and Ed McGuinness one more issue.
Yeah.
Which would be issue 5. Just to be like, let's see what comes of it, because like I would rather read about the other guys, like, you know, the old the old New Avengers.
Yeah.
But this one was fun. Loki gives the like secret history of the Earth and why we have powers and stuff, or why they have powers, like why there's powers and mutants and stuff. It's because like basically a Celestial was like infected by this horrible thing and then died while we were like still primordial, and it's like its essence and also this infection like bled and puked into the primordial soup and made it so that like the Earth itself is wrong and twisted, and it's why like it's the hotbed of everything that's messed up and weird.
Okay.
And like why there's so much magic, and why there's so many mutants and Inhumans and Eternals and all that other crap. Although they did just kill off pretty much all the Eternals in the last issue, off panel.
Yeah, and magic's growing back because we just killed that Aaron.
Because screw you.
But whatever. Anyway.
But Jason Aaron is writing it, so he will definitely address it. But there's a lot of like it's the Celestials' fault now, and then like because one of the Celestials, the one who died, was like banging another Celestial, and that Celestial was beaten up by the BC Avengers, and so like it didn't die, and then it called its friends, and then they slaughtered all the Celestials except for each other, and so now they work for Loki for no reason.
Okay.
And it's like, whatever, okay. So like Loki is leading a team of like rogue Celestials to destroy Earth, and Ghost Rider's the linchpin to everything, to saving everything. which is fine, and it's kind of fun.
Not Danny Ketch for good.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I know.
Right. So it's useful. So it's he can actually accomplish something. It's overall just a fun issue. It's just weird, and like it's less annoying than the last issue, and more fun. But everyone feels out of their depth. It feels like if Red Hulk, like the Ed McGuinness, Jeff Loeb book, were done by Jason Aaron, which is to say, like, oh, so it's not just going to be all these big hilarious moments. Like, at the end of the book, basically, Thor comes back with She-Hulk with this like special thing that they both eat that makes them awesome and huge. Mm-hmm. Ghost Rider inhabits a dead Celestial, so now there's like a Celestial Ghost Rider, and there's just basically like 4 or 5 like gigantic Avengers that are going to punch the other Celestials. And you're like, okay, I guess that's cool. I mean, like, at the end of the day, I was reading that book. At the end of the issue, I had a smile on my face.
Right.
So, like, if you want to see that kind of stuff, you should definitely read it.
There you go.
They got a stay of execution for me, though. I'm going to read issue 3 or issue 6, and we'll see what happens. But it's fun, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. It's weird. And, like, I hope that it's all full... I hope that Loki's full of shit. I don't really like having, like, all these answers. And I don't like Earth being, like, an accident. Cap kind of throws out this, like, line where he's like, it doesn't matter where we came from. It matters what we do with our lives. And you're like, right on. But seriously, though, are we an accident, though? Because that sucks. Also, especially, like, weird if there's, like, God and heaven and hell and gods and, you know, like, Earth is important to, like, for like, eternal celestial reasons. And so it would be, like, weird and in contrast to being, like, to us being celestial puke. But whatever. Okay. Let's not worry about it.
There you go.
Avengers number 6 is weird and fun, I guess. Check it out.
All right.
It's all fodder for another event that he's going to work on.
Sure.
So, yeah.
I say we talk about... I say we leave the DC book that I read. Mm-hmm. It's a DC book that I read out of nowhere.
Okay.
For last.
Okay.
Because that way you go to try to figure out what it was. And I think we should just briefly talk
about the life of Captain Marvel.
Yeah, because here they are. We're prepping for a movie coming up, so we gotta get people excited about this. So let's tell an origin story kind of like an origin of not her powers, but of her personality.
Yes.
In a sense.
So, like Captain Marvel.
Oh, hang on. Written by Margaret Stoll.
Yeah, Margaret Stoll.
With pencils by Carlos Pacheco?
Yep.
Pacheco?
Yeah, that works.
I don't know.
When they released the art for this series, I thought it was a great idea. I was like, I heard the premise.
Like the cover.
The cover is beautiful. Mm-hmm. The premise of being like, okay, so listen, we've really screwed up with Carol Danvers. Pretty much since that time that she had the baby boyfriend. Mm-hmm. So let's just reset it. Because, like, Civil War II was, like, the final nail in the coffin for this character. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to make... like an actual like Wonder Woman character for the Marvel universe. So like, can we make that happen without making it weird?
Right.
And what we wound up doing was not that. Because I was like, oh, that's great. What we really need to do is just like do a birthright for Captain Marvel. Like, do a Superman birthright where it's like, let's go back. Let's do a beautiful like mini-series by like with an accomplished writer. By the way, the author is a novelist, so not really, and not a lot of comics under her belt.
No,
but like it's interesting that I don't know, like it should have been a birthright book where it's like, here's the origin. It's a miniseries. It's got this like fun, really like unconventional for this kind of series art, and we're gonna basically like. We're going to chapter 1 Captain Marvel. We're going to throw out some stuff that didn't work. We're going to like retcon a couple things that did work. We're going to really build up the character a little bit and get you to understand and appreciate her and like her on a personal level.
Yeah.
And they totally dropped the ball.
No, for me, what this did was it established one thing that I had a question about.
Right.
Did she still have the cat?
Right. And the answer is kind of. Like, she moved it in with her parents.
She still has it, though. Like, that was I was like, does she still have that cat?
Right. Yeah, she does.
Does that alien cat?
Yeah, and they deliberately show you, like, yes.
Yeah, like, there's the alien cat.
Cool.
I get it. You're trying to, like, build this, like, kind of, like, story trouble past for her to maybe explain her actions over the years.
Yes.
And potentially this could serve as some sort of, like, like Phoenix-like, you know, rebirth. I
Yes.
hate to use these terms
No,
because
but it's
now
true.
they're associated with things.
With actual books.
Yeah, of the character, where it's just like she has a chance to work through these issues and put her past behind her,
Yes.
and those around her, like Tony Stark, who seem to be like encouraging her, will help to just be like, no, we're all forgetting it. We're gonna let you like
Right,
just
we're all
be
just
a
gonna
new
stop
character.
refer to all the bullshit.
Yeah.
And we're gonna encourage you to be like the character that people are gonna want to associate with, and they're gonna have a really hard time trying to find trades of after your movie comes out.
Right. So it's like this could be something very positive. This issue didn't like make me super excited.
Not
It
at all.
didn't like. I gotta be honest with you. I'm when I say I might trade weight on it, it's like I might trade weight on it, or I might not even.
I may never read the rest of this.
Yeah,
book.
I don't really know. And I feel badly because like you're trying something, you're trying to fix this character.
But like none of them know how to do that.
No.
Like none of them are good at resurrecting characters or fixing them or retconning them.
No.
And they all think they need to with this character.
You know what it is? I think this is going to end up being a fault of, or like a product of necessity instead of desire.
Yeah.
So it's just like you got the movie coming out, so like you got to make this all work out instead of someone coming and being like, hey, I got it.
I've got a really great Carol Danvers pitch for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's the time to fix the characters, when someone comes to you and says like, what do you think?
Right. You
Because
need,
that's a project of passion at that point.
Yeah, like you need Tom King to show up and say like, I got a killer Vision pitch for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, that and it's pretty much separate, but it works within this Marvel universe, and it gives the audience a chance to look at a character from another perspective.
Exactly. I mean, like, look at like Moon Knight. What has been done with that character?
Moon Knight has enjoyed like the biggest renaissance of his entire career.
Right, but like out
because
of nowhere.
people want to tell Moon Knight
But
stories.
in it, because it wasn't like they have to do it because they got something coming out.
Yeah.
Rogue and Gambit like just had that mini series, and like it was like, not that they've had like a huge problem, but like it was a book that was fun, and like someone who just wanted to tell that story.
Yes.
And it was great.
Yep.
So like sometimes you have to wait till someone wants to tell the story instead of
Right.
trying to just make it work. You didn't have to tell the story. You could just put out some new Carol Danvers books and be done with it.
Yep.
I just feel like it's just I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
It's a waste. It's a waste of a book because I don't know who it's for, what it's supposed to try. I know what it's supposed to do, but it failed.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, what's the point of this book?
Yeah.
And there's 6 issues. You failed at 1, so you're not going to sell the other 5. It's going to be a real bad slog for you.
It could be, unfortunately.
Also, like, so the idea here is like she had an abusive dad and she's really sad about it. She comes home and her brother's is also as stupid as his dad. So then like it turns out her dad might actually be like an alien or something, and that like really sucks.
Oh, see, no, I didn't think it was that. I thought he might have had an affair with an alien.
There's like a baby in the baby plot. I'm like, get out of here. The idea is that Carol is a moron in this book. So like Carol finds this like secret love letter from her dad in her family house. And she finds this like communicator device. And you're like, oh, hey, that's fun. You did the communicator thing. You're associating deep space communicators with Captain Marvel. Like, the end of Infinity War. Why are we doing that? That's a weird thing to point out or connect. Anyway, she goes to the garage and she's like, I don't know how this works. Even though I work with Alpha Flight, I've been in space, I have a suit that actually has also technology.
My cat is literally an alien.
And so I'm going to hit it with a hammer.
Yeah.
So she hits it with like a rock a couple times, and then then they're like, hey, there's pie. So she leaves, and then like it shoots a beam that triggers a pod that gestates a baby.
No, it's not evidence. It's not pie. She has to help her brother.
I know, I'm just saying, but it doesn't matter. The point is, you're dealing with alien technology. You're the captain of an alien space force. Like,
yeah, the failing there is that, like, if you want to do something like that, like, she should just be so not thinking about anything because of what has happened. You know what I mean? But they missed the mark on explaining that to us or showing that that's what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that, like, she had the abusive dad. And, like, here's the thing. Like, I have no problem with that plot.
No.
And I honestly, like, I think were it better explored, it could have been more interesting. Because, like, her brother and her mom, like, it's almost like they've had a chance to actually deal with it and she ran away from it. And, like, this should be a thing for, like, her to stop running away from things that are super hard. Because, like, she's able to do great feats and then she faces them head on, but things like this she can't.
Right.
And I'm like, that's kind
a
of
neat
interesting.
idea. Hey,
like,
that's
neat.
Yeah, that's a theme that your editor should have just given to a writer who knew what they were doing.
Yeah. And, like, it's just, maybe we'll get there, but, like, it's not doing a terribly good job of it right now.
Nope.
That's it. Like,
So,
I don't know. That's it for me.
That's a pass.
On that.
I don't read it. Like, don't read it. I like, maybe it's time to just give it to Photon and just be like, you're Captain Marvel again, I'm sorry. Black Captain Marvel.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but you're fired. Get out.
Right?
And have her go into space and die or something. I don't know. I don't know what the fix is for Captain Marvel, but I don't have a good pitch. Like, don't ask me to write Captain Marvel. I don't have the way to fix it for you.
Okay.
You know, but like, don't ask nobody or anybody.
All right. That's fair.
It's dumb.
All right, let's talk about the last mystery book.
Yeah, what's this weird mystery book that you...
It's a DC book, and I was looking to see if anybody got it in the chat, and they did not.
Oh.
I saw it on Comixology. I couldn't help myself. I read, even though I don't really necessarily read either of these books, Injustice versus Masters of the Universe.
Okay, yay.
I had to do it. Are you kidding me? I've got a couple of the old Masters of the Universe trades. I really enjoyed them. I don't follow up with Injustice, so like I was just like, hopefully this book will guide me through it.
Yeah.
And it did. It definitely did. It's written by Tim Seeley with art by Freddie E. Williams II.
Oh, hey! Ninja Turtles Batman.
It was so much fun, guys. Guys, this is so stupid fun.
Good. That's exactly what it should be.
It's just a good time. I couldn't help it. I enjoyed it so much. It picks off where He-Man at least, where He-Man Thundercats left off.
Oh, good.
In 2016.
That's awesome.
So if you're reading that,
you can just pick up this one.
If you were just like, man, I gotta have some more Masters of the Universe, this is where you go. It's just like literally like He-Man and his like intrepid team like ended up being like someplace else, and like Faker took over.
Oh.
And like apparently a bunch of the people really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Like of Eternia. They were like,
they're like, Faker's better at this than He-Man.
Yeah, exactly. So when he comes back and like takes care of everything, like they're like, boo! They throw tomatoes at him.
He's like, nah, these are paltry things. I don't feel
No, he feels really bad.
I know, I'm just saying,
and
because
then, like,
I'm muscular, it's tomatoes.
Right, exactly.
Try shooting me next time.
And like essentially he's like, he turns back into Prince Adam, and he's just like, if He-Man's not protecting like the people and like the
what
rich,
job does
then
He-Man
then
have?
he doesn't use his powers.
Oh.
Like eat it. And like then like his mom shows up, and it's just like, you know, there's just like a vocal minority, and like most people are really excited that you're back, and
That's
it's totally
funny. It's
cool.
like an allegory for the internet.
Right? And like they're like, here's like, just let it go. And like we like are reintroduced to the fact that she's from Earth.
Right.
And like all that stuff. And like as it turns out, the people from Injustice, who I think this is following the and you guys probably know better than I will, those who've been following with Injustice. I seem to get the impression that this is following the last Injustice game, in a sense.
Okay.
I don't know.
Injustice 2.
Injustice 2, where like they had to bring Superman back to help with Brainiac because Brainiac was like taking over.
Yes.
And inevitably like he gains control of Batman.
Yeah, okay.
And like turns him into Minority Report.
All right.
And like works with Wonder Woman, and they're like using him to do that. And they also in this comic introduce Shazam as like a little boy.
Okay.
And
that's a perfect allegory for He-Man.
Right? So so Zatanna and Swamp Thing are in Eternia because Superman, being afflicted by magical items, has been like intercepting different multiversal like things to collect them to keep them from hurting him and taking him down, right? Yeah. And so like they intercepted this transmission from Eternia being so magical, so they're like, we should go there and see if anybody could help us. And so they've been like spying on Prince Adam / He-Man, and when he gives this little speech about like what he's supposed to be doing, they're like, nailed it, got him.
Okay.
And so like not Batman, who it might be Jason Todd. I don't know. Guys, you'll have to fill me in on that one, too, because it's not the Batman who's sitting in the chair, because it's different.
Apparently it's the evil ending to Injustice 2.
There you go. So. And, like, Harley Quinn calls him Baby Bat.
So it's probably Damian
and slaps him on the butt
Todd.
A little bit, which is kind of hilarious. So they show up, and, like, Zatanna's there, and Swamp Thing's there, and Starfire's there.
Okay.
And they're like, hey, here's the thing. So, like... And they give you like a backstory.
To explain to these people. Like,
they give you the backstory of like what you need to know from the Injustice games, where it's like bam, 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 bam. We need you to help.
Okay.
And like he's like, as Prince Adam, like maybe I should go and help. And then Teela shows up and it's just like, haha, like you can't do that. I'm his bodyguard. And like Orko's there too. And then like Moss Man like grabs her and he's just like, no, it's totally cool. Like me and Swamp Thing are both like on the same level here, and I know that Batman's telling the truth.
That's amazing.
So
we have a cube on the set right now that literally has Moss Man and Swamp Thing
just hanging out together. So look, here's the thing. At the end of the day, they're
gonna fight.
They're gonna
and
go,
team up.
And they do go. But then we find out that like at the end of Thundercats and He-Man, like Skeletor is presumably gone, and Superman found him.
Oh,
and he has Skeletor. And he's been, like, using him to help him out to, like, find certain, like, artifacts. In fact, he tells him to take Batson's, because it's not Billy Batson's, shoes away from him so that he can't, like, I guess, like, he's like, they're a mystical item. He can't let him have those. And, like, he knows that, like, He-Man's coming.
Right.
And, like, and at the end of it, the splash page is that, like, Darkseid shows up in Eternia.
No. Yes.
I was like,
that's awesome. Okay, I want to see that.
It's so dumb, but I'm like,
that's all I want.
Yep, this is my summer blockbuster book.
That's great.
This is the book that like is like the like this is so dumb.
Hell yes.
He gets to like do his big like for the power of Grayskull in front of everybody.
Nice. Good.
Right? And there's Darkseid being like,
I'm gonna be in the book.
And there's this guy named Zodiac who's from Eternia, and like he is like a like Metron Watcher kind of character who like records like things that are going on, and like is supposed to do it without like feeling or anything like that, and like like they destroy him.
Oh no.
Or at least they destroy his chair because like Darkseid is here.
Right.
And I'm like, sure.
I'm in. Okay,
I'm
cool.
in.
Well, there you go. That's awesome. I'm excited.
It's such a like we should have ended on Justice League, but like I still read this. I still read that.
That's great.
Read it.
Tales from Island Z saying Thor #3. Does the new series seem Simonson-ish? It ought to.
It does, and like I wanted to read that, but I read this instead.
Right.
That was what I had time for. Because it looked interesting. The art looks gorgeous on that book. Because it's Aaron writing Thor. It's so beautiful. It's like Hela's gonna get like married. But I don't think it's true.
No, I'm
and
sure.
It's going to be either Thor or Balder.
Oh.
And like Loki's there too. So Loki's involved, so I'm
of course.
sure it's not like
anything
real that's happening. But like it looks really stunning.
Nice.
Looks stunning.
Okay. Well, I'll check it out. So let's jump into some recommendations of books that are coming out this week that we think you should check out.
Ooh.
I've got a number of them.
Okay.
So feel free to look at them if you like. But here we go.
You going first?
There's a book coming out. It's been a long time, but it's finally here. Doomsday Clock #6 is coming out, everybody.
Doomsday what?
Yep, Doomsday Clock. It's this weird indie book by this no-name creator named Jeff something. And apparently this issue is about like clowns. So check it out if you want. I guess I certainly will, because are you kidding me? So you can expect to see us talk about that one in this episode or in next episode.
Yeah, definitely. That's happening. It's happening.
Yeah. Amazing Spider-Man #2 comes out next week. Hell yes.
Yeah.
In this one, there's an alien invasion in New York City, and the only one who could stop it is Spider-Man. But how will he be able to do that when he's trying to balance his new relationship and his job and all these things?
See, that kind of works, though.
It's classic Spider-Man.
That is very classic Spider-Man.
So we'll see if we're really going to push this Mary Jane thing. I don't know. I'm hopeful. And I guess I'll toss this on out there. Sentry #2 comes out.
Ooh! I wish I could have...
Well, feel free. Here,
no, it's
these are
fine.
your books.
No, that's fine. It's because Sentry was so good.
I agree.
Written by Jeff Lemire. I can't wait to see where this book is going. Now that Sentry doesn't have his little device that keeps him like in check and being able to like keep the Void in check.
Yes.
And who took it?
Misty Knight might punch him. Uh-oh.
Right. And like is like his one-armed sidekick actually in
that universe? Yeah. Or his mind.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So excited for
Artie
this.
Pavlov saying, "What about the new Domino series? It's kind of fun." Still haven't read it. Domino doesn't interest me as a character. So.
I think it's actually coming out this week as well. Domino #3 is coming out. It's a second printing with a variant cover.
Yes.
Which is always good. Like when you see that kind of thing, it means they had to go back to print, and that's awesome. For me, from Image Saga is coming out. That's a no duh.
Yep.
Like
and
obviously.
It's a big thing. It's a season finale.
Yeah. Which is like kind of soon.
Yeah. Going back on hiatus. That's literally this issue coming out.
I know. But I'm just saying, like, this one just seemed shorter, and I don't even know.
Yep.
And then, guys, less, I mean, like, obvious for me, but, like, I don't know, maybe not. But, like, Mr. and Mrs. X #1 is coming out.
Yeah, did you like the Rogan Gambit miniseries? Because here it is again.
Yeah, it's written by Kelly Thompson, with, I guess, art by Oscar
Basaluda.
I think. I don't know. Essentially, it's the follow-up to the X-Men, or to their Rogan Gambit miniseries, but also X-Men 30 Gold.
Yeah.
Where they got married, and like we'll see what's going on after that. Like,
yeah,
they didn't really get like a true marriage issue, which a lot of characters who like big,
there should have been. Yeah,
they do that, but like you know what, Rogue and Gambit aren't a standard couple, so I guess it kind of fits them. I wish they had though.
Yes. Because that would have been a fun whole issue.
So I'm looking forward to this. I really enjoy what they've been doing with this couple as of late. Part of me is just like, but it's Rogue and Gambit, so there's no way this can succeed for them.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't want to watch them like crumble in front of me.
Yeah.
But I can't help it.
No, I'm sure. The other thing is Justice League Dark comes out.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's on there.
I'm excited for that.
I know.
I am excited. I legitimately am excited for that because it's Justice League magic. It's probably not going to last because every time they do anything that's like Justice League or anything like blah 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 magic,
Oh, I know.
doesn't end up working out. But I'm excited. It's written by James Tynion IV, so I mean, like,
It'll be fun. He knows what he's doing.
he does know what
Sometimes.
he's doing. I think he'll know what he's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the team.
I know. Unfortunately, they also did that awful thing where they redesigned Swamp Thing and made him look like Alan Moore. Her. I think that's the worst idea.
I don't want that. But Man-Bat's on the team.
Yeah, and that's kind of cool. Because it's their way of getting your Batman fix.
It's just Man-Bat.
Yeah, but it's Man-Bat.
I literally bought a child's toy the other day.
I know, of Man-Bat.
It was like, it's literally for like 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I technically kind of bought it to give to a 3-year-old inevitably. And then I was like,
No.
but I kind of want this.
But it's mine now.
It looks like the animated series. He's adorable.
It looks straight up animated series.
It's so cute.
It's awesome.
Hold my little hand, or my little fingers.
Yeah, he's got little hands.
Yeah.
Anyway, we want to thank you all for hanging out with us and watching this episode. And of course, if you want to watch more of us, more of this lady in particular, you should definitely check out this purple version of YouTube that's out there. I can't really talk about by name, but certainly if you were to go to it, you would go to that website /ComicPOP TV and check it out because you're going to be playing some video games.
Yeah, probably in the next 20-30 minutes.
Yeah,
Be
so
on over there.
Keep an eye out, everybody, and we'll see you guys next week with another episode of Off the Rack. And of course, stay tuned for so much more.
Yes.
I want to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys then. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.